Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me again today for another card making video featuring some Stampin' Up products. So we've got a mix of the old and the new today. So here's my sample card. I'm using the two-tone Flora stamp set. It does have coordinating dies. So the mini catalogue is about to retire. So this is a mini catalogue product at the moment. It is carrying over into the annual catalogue, but will no longer be a bundle. So at the moment, if you can get it before that a mini catalogue retires, you can get the bundled price. Okay, and the sentiments, because there's no sentiments with that, I've actually pulled in Celebrate with Tags. So this is a this is carrying over. It was in the winter mini, but we will be seeing this again as well. All right, and to cut out the sentiment, I have gone to Stylish Shapes, and this largest fishtail banner fits that just beautifully. All right, so that's a really nice little set as well if you are starting out with paper crafting and Stampin' Up in general. This is a great basic set. So you've got some nice layering circles and squares, which are always very useful, and then those lovely little banners to fit sentiments and the like. Okay, so that's what we're using. And in terms of colours, so this card features our current core colours, or remaining core colours if you like. We have had a bit of a shake up of the colours, which I have given you a little bit of an overview in a previous video of what the changes are going to be. But all the colours featured here are ones that have been in the Stampin' Up collection since I started, I think. No, Gorgeous Grape actually, I think that was a new one. Anyway, and Granny Apple Green, that came in new as well. So base card is Garden Green layered with Granny Apple Green, and that's the colours that I've used for the foliage here. So we've got those colours there. Garden Green isn't a colour I use a lot. It's worked well with this combination. And then the two-tone Floras are Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. So the Highland Heather is the background lighter colour, and Gorgeous Grape is the darker, which I've also used for the sentiment on that little banner there. And we've got this ribbon. Now I don't know whether this is still available, but I still have some left and I'm going to use it up. This isn't carrying over. This is the frayed ribbon. So it's quite a wide ribbon. What's that, about 3/4 of an inch, I would say? Is it 3/4 of an inch or 5/8 of an inch? Ooh, it might be 5/8 or 7/8 maybe. It's not quite an inch anyway. So, but as the name would suggest, it frays really easily. So I've taken it and frayed up that edge just to give that another sort of texture and a bit of fun. Curled the leaves a little bit, give it a bit of drama. I mean, they'll flatten off eventually, kind of thing. But and then just some basic pearls. Basic pearls are retiring, but again, I have some to use up. So if you've got stuff in your stash, or you can substitute them for whatever embellishment you like. I wanted something neutral, just to pop something in the background, really. Okay, so I'm going to say old in inverted commas colours. So we're going to spin that up. So those were those again, right? So those are all the existing colours. So I'm just going to pop that to one side just for a second. So we're going to bring in the new. Okay, and we're going to use Lemon Lime Twist. Okay, now I have brought in Shaded Spruce. We don't really have a new dark green. I suppose I could use Pretty Peacock. Let's use Pretty Peacock just to sort of, this is more of a blue green. Why don't I stick with Shaded Spruce? Berry Burst and Bubble Bath. So 3 out of the 4 of those colours are brand new. Oh, sorry, 1 is brand new and 2 are returning in colours. That's probably more accurate in terms of a description. So that's what we're doing with that. I've already cut the card base in Berry Burst. Okay, and I've cut a layer in Bubble Bath. So on the sample card I used the foliage colours to do the card base. This time I've gone with floral colours just to change that up a little bit. And the dimensions on the basic white layer is 3.5 by 5.25. The pink layer here, the Bubble Bath, is 3 5/8 by 5 3/8. So we get that nice skinny border, and it's just the usual card base for UK cardstock, A4 cardstock that we've got there. So that's put to one side just for the second. The first thing we're going to do though is stamp the sentiment, which we're going to do in Berry Burst. And the reason I'm doing this first is because I want to adhere the ribbon to the back of the die cut and let that dry a little bit before we start messing about with it. So I'm going to see if I can pop that just there, and then we'll just die cut that out with that lovely banner punch. So Berry Burst is a really beautiful sort of purpley pink. It's a bit sort of deeper than Melon Mumbo. Okay, so we'll just pop that back there just for a moment, and we're just going to get this die cut. And like I say, I just want to get the ribbon adhered to the back so that it's all set by the time we come to add it to the card, because we need to manipulate it a little bit to do the freeing. So I just want that to be done. So we'll just run that through really quick. I'll say this is a reminder of the colour palette that we're using today. Just going to use my all the dies that I'm using today actually fit the mini emboss, but I'm just going to run it through the larger machine off camera here, just because it's already set up on my desk. But of course, if the mini is what you have, then you can totally do that for this this project. So that's that bit done. So I'll put that to one side just for a moment. So this will go in my scrap bin for something else, I'm sure, and we can reuse the tape until it becomes really tacky and yuck. Just keep using it. Try and minimise the waste. So I'm just going to use some of the multi-purpose glue. People call it different things, but this glue basically. I'm being reasonably generous with it. So what I want this to do is to just sort of soak into that ribbon a little bit. Not that it matters if it's upside down, but you know, mess it with the head otherwise. So I'm just going to pop that onto that ribbon and leave that to one side to set while we do everything else. So to our stamping, just going to bring in a strip of kind of scrap card stock basically. Just keep hold of little bits of cardstock, and you just never know when you might need to. We need a little piece just to fill in a project. So this is Lemon Lime Twist. This was an in colour, not that long ago. Just wiping off my stamps on a chamois, which is off to the one side there. So we want a couple of those, and we're going to use the shaded spruce just to sort of offset that a little bit for these little teeny tiny leaves. These all have dies that go with them in the two-tone Flora, which is really cool. I do like it when all the little elements can be either punched or die cut, so that we can create a lot of texture on our cards, because it sort of adds luxury without being complex. Then the florals, like I say, we're going to combine Berry Burst and Bubble Bath, so these two beautiful returning colours. So we've got the little teeny flower, and each of them has 2 stamps. So you can do the detail and the solid over, that layer together to make a really nice, pretty bloom. And depending on the ink that you're using, sometimes it's easier to do the solid first, and sometimes it's easier to do the detail first. I go with generally using the detail first, because typically you'd be using a darker colour. Okay, so in this case we're going to use the Berry Burst. Okay, so I want a couple of these smaller flowers. So I'm just going to get that ink off. I do like to get the pink inks off my stamps as quickly as possible. Then while that's out, we're going to do the larger one. Okay, so there we've got our lovely centres that are the darkest colour that we're going to use for those blooms. And then the bubble bath we're going to use to go over the top of that. So when you're doing your 2-tone stamping, you want to be hovering right over the top of your previous image and looking to line up those. Now you're right where I would ideally want to put my head, but I'm looking to see those little things in the middle. There's a little open space in the middle that looks like it's lined up, and then I'm just looking to the left and the right. There's like little petals there, and that looks about right to me. So hover over the top until you're satisfied you've lined those up. And this is a beautiful subtle pink. Okay, so that's going to be so beautiful, I think, on our card. And exactly the same process with this one. Now I do find that this bigger stamps that have very little detail on, you have to be mindful that you've got them all covered in the ink. Okay, and then we're going to again line those up. Look for some areas in the middle. There's the empty space with those sort of stamens in the middle. When you're happy, press it down. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning colour. It's definitely one that we were missing in the SU colour collection. A really nice pale pink. And I think that works so well with Berry Burst to give us this beautiful, soft, 2-toned flower. Okay, so as you might expect, there's a fair bit of die cutting to do now. Okay, so again, we're just going to use this. This is actually leftover washi tape. I've got a stash of it that is left over, kind of thing. You know, just working my way through it rather than just throwing it away or whatever. Some of it I've given to my daughter because some of it was all shimmery stuff, so she likes to use it in her revision books and things like that. But there's others that I've held on to. Oh. So with the dies, you just don't want them to overlap each other, basically. So I'm just sort of spreading them out so that they don't overlap, because the only way you'll really damage your die is by trying to die cut into it. If you overlap them, they will get damaged. Okay, so basically we're going to run those through, and then I'll be back once we have done that. Okay, so everything's die cut now, so we just need to pop some dimensionals onto the back of the florals. Use the scraps as well, so they're ready to go. And then we want to add a little bit of shape to the leaves, just to give them some lift. And if you just sort of rub something, anything, you can use your thumb, you can use anything, but handles from scissors, your bone folder, if you use one, that kind of thing, all gives you that sort of shape to your elements. I find the handles of scissors are quite good, but it just gives them that sort of cupped kind of look. If you have trouble pressing on your hands, just use like something, a mouse mat, soft spongy thingy that you have. Okay, right, so let's start putting this together then. So our layers can go together with our Stampin' Seal. So let's use my adhesive of choice for this kind of thing when I'm layering flat pieces of cardstock. Like so. And this is going to go onto our base card. So we'll get that done. This is Berry Burst. So just making sure that's nice and straight, or straight as it can be. So I like to do it on the side like that. So that's our base card. Okay, next element that we're going to work with is our little sentiment element here, and going to just use some paper just to cardstock even to protect my surface, and then I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool, the pokey tool, to fray this ribbon. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing. But basically, if you start pulling away at this, all these little threads start to come away. If you just gently tease it out until we get to that bit. I just didn't want to scratch onto my stamping surface, so that's why the card's underneath. Okay, and you kind of get this little sort of string that's kind of, so if anyone does any like yarn craft, you'll know that there's always like, you know, your chain of your working yarn sort of runs behind, doesn't it? That's kind of what I like that too. So once you're happy that's as frayed as much as you want it to be, okay, just pull that through. We can just cut off that excess. So a nice sharp pair of scissors. So I'm just going to see the back, obviously. So just get that off, and then we'll repeat that on the other side. So I'm just protecting the top there. Just don't want to get sticky fingers on it. Or we can think about putting it onto our card. Okay, so this just about fits on there, which is beautiful, but I just love the overhang of the frayed portions there, you see, so I thought that was real fun. And again, because of the texture of the ribbon, we're going to use some wet glue. Just be quite liberal with it. Just get that on, and we're just going to put it sort of in the bottom, a couple of thirds of the card. Like so, but we've got a bit of wriggle room on there as well, so that we can position the leaf elements as well. So again, some wet glue is going to help us with that, because it means we can just sort of position things and wriggle them around a little bit until we're happy with them. And again, coming across that border a little bit just to add a little bit more fun and pizzazz to that. And then we want to position the largest flower somewhere around there. Again, I'm just trying to come across that border a little bit. Okay, and just frame that sentiment a little bit. This one's going to sort of tuck behind. We just want some different layers in there. And this other lemon lime twist element. It's going to go in across here somewhere. Something like that. And then these guys are just going to add a little bit of that sort of depth. Punch of colour. Which will help frame it all. Don't need a lot of this wet glue, by the way. A little will go a long way. It sticks really nice and firmly. So it just gives you that element of wriggle room while you sort out where everything's going to go. And then you can just use a poker tool or something just to get under there and make sure you've pressed it down. But they're all looking fantastic. And the last thing to add are our pearls or whatever embellishments you want to use. So I can pop those on. So my general go-to is to use all three sizes, the largest and smallest at the bottom, with the medium and two smaller ones just scattering through. You've got an odd number in there, which always looks aesthetically pleasing. Okay, and then that is our finished card. Isn't that really super cute and super feminine? I think that's really, really cute. Okay, and then we've got this one as well. So exactly the same layouts with the different colours. Really do look quite different. Okay, and again the choice of using either the foliage, sort of that's all that's gone green, then I've gone really pink with this one, so it can really change the way the card looks in the way that you do that. I hope you've enjoyed that. Okay, don't forget to check out all the last minute bits and bobs that are in the retiring list. So if you pop over to my store, links will be in the description. Just see what's available. There'll be a lot of stuff that's sold out. I don't know whether this ribbon's still available, or the pearls, or that, or anything. So have a look what's left. Grab yourself a bargain, and look out for our new catalogue launching in a few days' time. So in the meantime, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, everybody, bye.